Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is a request that someone asked me to do a video on holidays. I've done a video on holidays before, but this one is going to be totally different and it's going to be amazing. See, Jehovah's Witnesses got their holidays down to Judge Rutherford, the one who gave Jehovah's Witnesses their name. And what did the Bible students used to teach? Was it the same thing as Jehovah's Witnesses is teach today? Because Jehovah's Witnesses don't know that only a small number of Bible students became Jehovah's Witnesses, and the rest of them did not become Jehovah's Witnesses. They rejected Judge Rutherford's truthfully new teaching. So I called the Bible students and I asked them, can you tell me about the holidays? And he was real nice. So he gave me some information that I'd like to share. So it's an audio between him and me. So sit back, Jehovah's Witnesses. Hear the truth about the holidays that you'll be amazed that some of them you could celebrate.
Somebody get back to you.
Okay. I was a Jehovah's Witness, and the subject I like to talk about the holidays. Jehovah's Witnesses, they came up with so many crazy holidays that they don't celebrate. And I was just curious, what is the holidays that the Bible students allowed to see they can be a part of, but the ones that they're not a part of?
Sure. Well, one of the things that happened is the Jehovah's Witnesses have set down rules because they're not seemingly teaching people to be able to think for themselves and make up their own mind on these issues. The Bible students generally teach principles. We don't have any rules. In other words, we're not going to disfellowship you for something of breaking a rule because we don't have a rule. We try to teach character development and you to learn how to discern these things yourself. So we know from history that certain things have become distorted and people aren't doing them in the proper way. For instance, instead of the memorial of our Lord's death, the natural thing for Christians is to also recognize the value of our Lord's resurrection. And that's fine, but then somewhere along the line, the Catholic Church got a hold of it, and Constantine and a few people like that, and made that the more important celebration, and then started mixing it with pagan beliefs. And of course, you know from the Jehovah's Witnesses the issues surrounding Easter, and then the commercialization of it even further distorted it. But this is something that we try to teach our people the correct view of things like Easter and Christmas and so forth, and the truth about those subjects. But then it's up to them what they want to do. Now, generally speaking, Bible students don't do anything with Easter unless possibly they have children with grandchildren that are maybe unconsecrated and don't know anything about it, and they may I don't know what they do in that case, but generally, we try to let everybody make up their own mind, and not to try to put pressure on those that are not Christians, that are not in the Bible students. They have to, but probably the ones that are the more unusual ones, I mean, those two, Christmas and Easter, have some basis for trying to not go with which is now the traditional thoughts on the subject, and to avoid certain symbols that are on those subjects, like Christmas trees and so forth. But still, even on those, it's something that each one has to make up their own mind whether they consider those things. I mean, you can, let's say, for instance, if you have a Christmas tree and you have no intention of worshiping it or looking at it as a pagan symbol, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with it if you just consider it decoration.
I agree.
So, and in fact, one of the unusual things is Pastor Russell is considered to be the founder, according to witnesses of their movement.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, Pastor Russell had a Christmas tree at the Bethel in New York. Now,
I agree with that, because I found a picture of that, and I found a picture of American flag in Bethel. So I saw those two things in pictures on the internet.
Yeah, so it's unusual. Now, things like birthdays and so forth, what they're trying to do with the witnesses is to try to, a good part is we need to look at things if they have pagan origins, or maybe if they will make us have pride in our hearts or things like this. But many times things like birthdays do not create pride and are just a way of us giving joy. If we look at it as we're giving joy to God for one more year, it's all the way you look at it. And I'm not really sure why they don't like things like birthdays.
I was about ready to tell you, because John Baptizer had his head cut off, and so that's the reason why they don't celebrate Christmas. And there was another person had something bad happened on their birthday or something. It's just like someone told someone before. What happened if it was the king's anniversary of his being married to his queen? Does that mean you cannot get married because John Baptizer got his head cut off?
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at that, any kind of event could have got his head cut off.
In any case, the Bible students try to teach the principles of the Bible, and then you have to make up your own mind, and nobody's going to criticize you.
Okay,
if you do something different.
What about Mother's Day and Father's Day? How do y'all view those two?
I think that most of them, the Bible students that do have either parents or children, and especially if those parents or children are not Bible students, they probably allow those children to do something for them, or they do something for their parents. It's a choice. I mean, it all depends on what obligation you feel. I mean, we know that those are commercial holidays and made up by the greeting card companies,
Well,
and the flower companies. But there's nothing really wrong with them.
No, actually, I remember the history of the woman who came up with the Mother's Day. She wanted to, I think her mother died, and so she wanted to recognize the Mother's Day. So they did it. Now, what she got furious about, they started putting flowers and candy and all that. So she almost got herself.
Commercial.
Yeah, she almost got herself in serious trouble because they would make a commercial out of it.
Right.
But still, I could not find no evidence of that.
Again, it's for each one to decide for themselves, and it's kind of like, how do you go about serving the Lord? It's for each one to decide how much they think, and the Lord is going to decide whether it's enough or not.
Right. What about Thanksgiving?
I think Thanksgiving is probably a nice holiday, but I'm not sure. Would the witnesses be against that too?
Oh, you're allowed to have Thanksgiving as long as it's day after or 2 days after, but you're not allowed to have it on that. They call that a pagan holiday. The only problem is when I dug up research of it, is when Columbus came to the United States and those settlers didn't know how to plant the crops right and all that, so the Indians helped them, and they was giving thanks for the food, for the Indians, teach them how to, fish and everything, and to survive. And that's where the origin of Thanksgiving.
Wrong with it, but
no,
that's surprising. But again, it's just a matter, that we're not going to make those kind of rules.
Okay, the only one I'm going to stop it there. The one we was talking about next was Halloween, and I did research on Halloween. That is not a good holiday because it has too many bad, evil things in part of it. But this guy agreed that Jehovah's Witnesses is going overboard with these holidays, and it should be a decision matter. So notice if someone wants to put up decorations or a tree, the Bible students is not going to call which they don't have elders, to your house, and the elder's going to tell you take them down or you're going to be disfellowship. Because he said they don't disfellowship people that wants to do certain things because there is no rules. So I hope this give people to understand about the Bible students' teaching of Charles T. Russell's and the teaching of Judge Rutherford, because I even told him that I believe that the Bible students, when they left because of Judge Rutherford, and the ones stayed became Jehovah's Witnesses, Judge Rutherford wanted to eliminate himself from the Bible students, so that's the reason you heard this guy, Bible student, was talking about what they do and don't do on certain holidays. So Judge Rutherford, he changed all the rules from the beliefs of Charles T. Russell and the Christmas tree and all that to form a new belief system, control system to make people think they are believing in the truth by separate themselves from all these holidays. But all they're always doing by what he said is all control. If you don't do what they say, basically you